Welcome to the Gag Is podcast with me, your host, Charlie Shantae, where I share the roller coaster of my life, the highs, the lows, and everything in between. After becoming a teen mom at 14 and a widow by the age of 21, it's a journey filled with tears and laughter, reminding you that even in the toughest moments, there's hope. The gag is, life may be unpredictable, but it's always worth living. Hey guys, welcome back to another episode of the Gag Is podcast. I am your girl, Charlie Shantae. Thank you for joining me on another week. It's a new episode, so you know what that means. It's Friday. It seemed like Friday take forever to get here, like Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, back to Monday. But we here. We gonna enjoy it. You know, it's the weekend. Find you something to do. Me, I'm gonna lay down. I'm gonna relax. Cause my week it be moving. It be moving. But thank you for joining me. I hope you're doing well. I want to bring back my review segment. So if you have not already, please make sure that you are liking, subscribing, downloading, and also make sure that wherever you're listening to this podcast, or if you're watching on YouTube, please make sure that you are leaving a review, leaving a comment of some sorts so that I can read it and shout you out on an upcoming episode. All right, so we're going to talk about something that a lot of people don't like to talk about, including myself. This is one of those things that if you knew better, you'd do better. Well, that's the understanding. We're finna talk about finances today, so we can call this Finance Friday. And I'm gonna be the first to say that I used to not be good with my finances. Like, not even gonna hold you. I did not used to be good with my finances. Like, okay, it's money. I see stuff, I buy it. That's how that works, right? No. There is like a method to the madness. And with March being financial literacy month, I figured as a parent and a single parent at that, finances are always a big thing. Do we have enough money? Can we do this? Can we do that? We're going to talk about it today, and we're going to get into the nitty gritty. I'm not a financial advisor. I'm not a financial planner. I'm not even in the financial industry. So what I'm talking about is just merely based off of me. So don't go and run it and say, Charlie said I should do this. Charlie said I should do that. No, Charlie said you should do your own research because this is where it works for Charlie. Okay. I don't know what worked for you because I don't know your household and I don't know your finances. So the month of March is set aside for credit awareness, like credit education. It's like they set it aside to, help you get your finances in order, take a look, make sure that you're doing what's best for you, make sure you are in the best financial shape. I didn't even know this was a thing. I mean, I just, okay. Like, I just peep at it. I look at my credit score when they send me a little thing, and I be like, oh, okay, cool. I never dug deep into, why is my credit score like this? What can I do to improve my credit score? Or, things as such. So when I was researching for this episode, I found a lot of good information. Your girl just really, really didn't know. And we're going to dive into that here in a minute because, like I said, when you know better, you do better. And this is just one of those subjects that I didn't know. I just didn't. I didn't know. Your girl didn't know. Hold on, y'all. My stuff about to fall. So let me get myself together. All right, so when it comes to credit education, 1 in 5 people find errors on their credit report. And this is true for the longest time. Like when I really, really started, like got into credit reporting, like looking at my credit report and understanding, I found like so many errors. I found out that one of the places on there listed under the job section was actually my mom's job. Like it wasn't even my job. Like I had never worked at this place. So I was like, hey, I'm gonna need for y'all to um fix this. And so I didn't know how to fix it. I didn't know how to go about doing it. There's a lot of information, a lot of information on the internet. And with today's time, there are a lot of credit gurus out there. And so instead of this is again, I am not a financial person. I am not a credit person. This is just me. I didn't feel that I needed to pay one of these financial gurus to help me fix my credit or get stuff removed off of my credit. Like because for one, I don't like people in my business. That's just clear cut. And two, what they telling you, I feel like is easily accessible on the internet and it's free. The things that you can do to fix your credit and to get errors off your credit, read, and it tells you how to do it. You can do it for free. I'm not about to pay nobody because first of all, you don't know these people, and you see their advertisements online on social media or what have you, and they advertise, oh, I can get this wiped off your credit, boost your credit, go do this, woo doo woo woo, and that's just not my style. I've always been a pretty private person, especially when it comes to my finances. I don't like people in my business. And the number one person in my business is the bank. They always in my business. Just like, and then they be putting little charts together like, hey girl, this what you spent. This what you spend. And I'm like, y'all need to mind y'all business. Y'all just there for addition and subtraction. Like, I don't need y'all telling me that I spent $120 at Starbucks this month. I don't need you in my business like that. Okay? Okay? We understand? Okay? So there's things out there for you to learn how to do kind of stuff on your own. And when it comes to finances, I consider myself old school. You can ask any, oh Lord, my best friend gonna hear this and she gonna be like, girl. I'm an old school finance person. Growing up, I've always seen my mom and my grandma, like, I've never seen like hardcore budgeting. And like I told y'all before, when I grew up, we was poor as hell. So I didn't know we were poor until I grew up. Until I got older, I didn't know we was poor. I was like, okay, we doing it. My grandmother and my mother always paid for things in cash or money orders. Like they never really did like credit stuff, you know, like it was just cash and money orders. So as growing up, I always thought, hey, if I want something, I need cash and I have to save. So that's why I got kind of good at savings and, you know, so I never was exposed to it properly. So I didn't know that when I was a teenager or when I turned 18 that I needed to start doing this, or when I worked I needed to do this. I was never exposed to that. I was a child, so like they say, I stayed in a child's place. I never really asked or said, hey mom, how do you do this or how do you do that? So and my grandma, she's old school, she's older lady, so she she grew up in a time where Negroes wasn't getting credit. So, she couldn't teach me. And in school, they only teach you so much. Like they give you the workbook when you're in elementary. They got the quarter, the nickel, the dime, and the pennies, and the little dollar bills and stuff. They teach you how to add it and subtract it, but they don't teach you how to manage it. And even in high school, I never had like a money management class like they do today. So when it comes to paying my bills now, I want to say only only one of my bills is on automatic draft. Is it one? Maybe two are on automatic draft. The rest I go in there and manually pay, and even that's new because I used to send, go get money orders and send off all my bills. For my mortgage, I pay that with a money order. For my car note, I pay it with a money order. Everything I could, I would pay it with a money order, or I would, like my phone bill, I would go to that location, pay like that. Like I never knew. Okay, I'm not gonna say I never knew about automatic draft. It's just not me. I didn't grow up knowing automatic draft. Country girl from Oklahoma, I ain't know. So even now, like everybody's like, why don't you put your stuff on automatic draft? Put it on, and I'm like, that's not really my thing. Would it be more convenient? Yes, absolutely. However, and I don't even have it with me. I have a bill book. So I have a book in every month. The month, like, so it's March. So in my bill book, I already have April written down. I have written down what I need to pay, when it's due, how much, if I got anything special coming up, that like if I have any trips or anything like that, like I already have that money like budgeted out in my budget book. So when I get paid, I just know, okay, I got to look in my book. Okay, boom, 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 boom. This, that's it. We have a place here called Amscott. Amscott got free money orders. Rest my grandma's soul. I wish that there was an Amscott because this lady was paying 49.69 for money orders. Amscott got them for the free 99, boo. I sure do go up to Amscott with all my little money in my little money envelope that I get from the bank. Because yes, your girl still goes in the bank. Mama and I be like, okay, I need a money order for my lights, my water. Boom. Just like that. And I come back and I staple. If y'all think I'm lying, you ask Nikki, because Nikki didn't see in the book. I take the money order. So like a money order, you get the piece, the long piece, and then you have a little receipt piece on the side. I take the little receipt piece, I write what the bill that I paid with that one was, and then I staple it to the page. And so all my little receipts is right there on the page. So if somebody say, oh, you didn't pay us, or it wasn't the correct amount, or yes, I did, because I can always go back and track that money order. And like I said, I know y'all gonna be like, girl, why you just don't pay it online? Get a digital receipt. That way you know it's there. I don't want to do that. So whatever mandates me, he got to know that I'm old school and I'm gonna pay these bills, the old school way. So I'm organized with my I'm organized with my finances. You gonna understand this bill book. Yeah, that's just what that is. Okay, like don't come for me. Okay, don't come for me. Matter of fact, I'm gonna put a poll up. Do you still pay your bills with money orders, or do you write checks or anything like that, or are you strictly online? Like, let me know. I know I'm old school, so like I said, don't come for your girl. Okay, I'm gonna get better one day. Maybe when I get a man, he be like, "Baby, I'll take care of the finances." Okay, sir, you need to write that down in the bill book because mama need to know what's going on. I need to know. Um, up until I say maybe 8 years ago, I really learned about credit cards and the proper use of credit cards. I dated a guy who was a bank manager. And, we dated heavy and I was doing stuff. And he'd be like, why you do that? And I'd be like, because that's how I do stuff. And I'd be like, oh, I'm about to go to the bank. And he'd be like, go to the bank for what? I'm like, to withdraw money to pay my bills. And he's like, huh? I'm like, yeah. I'm like, I go get cash and I pay my bills like that. He's like, nah. He's like, you can't. Mm-mm. He's like, baby girl, you got to do better. And I'm like, that's the way that I was taught. Like buying a car, I I'm like, okay, I see this car that I want, so I know that I need to save up for it. And so I want to say up until like 6 years ago, like the car that I want, I would save up my money and I would buy cash. I would like buy cash. So I'm not talking about like 7,500 a cash car. Like I'm talking about like 20, 30 grand. Like I'm paying cash for these cars because this is what I was exposed to. I never knew you go to the car dealership, you apply for credit, you get a monthly payment, and you build your credit like that. I was never exposed to that. And so, like I said, up until like a few years ago. And so, now I got the car that I want, the cars that I want, and I make my payment on it, to try to build my credit. Because at my big age, I don't have bad credit. I just don't have any like credit because everything that I've ever done, I've always done in cash. So people go, well, how do you go on like when you go on big trips at the end of the year, how do you do that? I'm such a forward thinker and such a forward planner that I so like this year's vacations that I have planned out for the family, like those were established last year so that I can know how much money I need to save. I already got next year's 2025. I already got them two vacations planned out because I'm a forward thinker. I have that money saved to the side. So when it's time for that vacation to come, when I go on cruise ships, this time I'm gonna use my credit card, but previously I just use cash because I'm one of those people that if I gotta put it on credit, I don't need it. But that's because I did not know how to properly use credit. Like you use it and then you pay it. I ain't even gonna front. I've I've gotten in trouble with my credit cards a few times because I use them. And then I'm like, okay, y'all say I gotta pay this $17 a month. But I'm like, I'm paying this $17 a month, but I paid this $17 and then y'all add $32 worth of interest. Like this ain't right. And then I'm like, oh, like Nick was like, no, sis, like this is how you do this. And I'm like, dang, man. I'm like, I never was really exposed to, I was exposed to finances, but I wasn't exposed to newer finances, or as I guess you could call it newer finances, like credit cards, and things like that. So shout out to my best friend. I'm not gonna say shout out to my best friend, and thank you to my ex for exposing me and letting me know, put me up on a little financial game. Appreciate that for you, sir. Hope you're doing well. Um, and then, so I'm working on it. I'll do better. Let's see. So it's almost time I gotta go make sure my bill book together because what I do is I'm gonna go get this money and I'm gonna send my bills off so that they'll make it in time by the time April 1st roll around. I make sure that my bills have made it to where they need to make it to. So a couple of tips for kind of credit education and stuff like that. Um, Sign up for credit monitoring. Like everybody and their mama got credit monitoring. Whoever you bank with, if you have any credit cards, anything like that, 9 times out of 10, those places offer free credit monitoring for you. If you want like more advanced stuff, like able to check your credit report with no dings or whatever, you can pay a little extra, like monthly monitoring. But I have monitoring set up so that anytime anything happens on my credit report, I'm notified, whether somebody runs my credit, whether somebody pulled my credit for something, anything like that. I'm always get a notification to let you know, like, hey, XYZ did XYZ, or even some credit monitorings. depending on the bank. I won't say what bank I use, but they kind of give me like a little thing. It's kind of like, where do you want your credit score to be? What's your period of time that you want to get to this, and it gives you tips on how to achieve that. It takes your credit report as a whole, and it's like, okay, this is what you need to do, or here's some suggestions, or it kind of gives you tips and tricks on how to do that. And I genuinely appreciate them doing that. Like I said, I just don't like it when they be like, you spent $120 at Starbucks this month. I need you to mind my business. I go to work at 6:45 a.m. You girl be sleepy. Okay. So, make sure you do that. And every quarter, I try to sit down and I try to look at my bank account and kind of like, okay, am I doing this? Or, can I save here? Or, I try to look and make sure that I'm doing what's best for me. And if I have a question, I'll be like, hey, Nick, like, what do you think about this? What do you think about this? Or how can I do this? You know, get your girl together. And I think as females, sometimes we often don't have a female friend who we can be that transparent with, who we can talk finances with and things like that. And we tend to suffer in silence. So I'm glad that I have her, and I can bounce things off of my other best friend, Tiffany. I can bounce things off of her as well. So if you don't have that female friend in your life that you can go to and be like, girl, like, can you take a look at my finances and help me with my finances? Like, finances is nothing to be embarrassed by unless you just out here just wilding. Just wilding. But it's good to have somebody to go to that can say, hey, this is what I think you should do, or this is how you do this, or whatever. So now my credit cards is in good shape now. Good shape. Thanks, Nick. Also, focus on making your payments on time. I try to make my payments either on time or early, just depending on what date it falls. And a little thing that I did not know until maybe a few years ago, if your due date for something falls crazy, like falls on like the 19th of the month, you can always call them and ask for a due date change. A lot of places will do a one-time courtesy due date change um, to help it fall better in line with your pay periods or however you have your finances set up. I've done that a few times. I've done it with my car note because I'm like, this who paying a bill on the 17th of the month? Like, that's just so odd, like so random. And so then there was a process that I had to do, and I was able to change my date to something that was a little bit more convenient for me, something that would help me avoid late charges because my pay period fell after that date. um like I said, that ensures, because on time payments, it does make a difference. It makes a huge entire difference, because who want to lend you something or give you credit and you can't make your payments like on time? Like, no. And one thing that I've also done is I try to ensure that my kids, um, I try to I want them to see me doing positive money things. So I make sure that I try to instill that in them. Marco Polo, he's pretty decent. He's pretty good. But that little one, y'all, that little one, he like his mama back in the day. When her mama was little, she used to get money and she used to just let it burn a hole in her pocket. Like, Lorenzo get money. My boy is rich. He'd be like, can we eat Chick-fil-A today? It's on me. I'll pay today. You don't worry about it. I'm like, you balling like that? But I'm like, baby, go ahead and keep your money. Like, we not poor, baby. Mama can afford Chick-fil-A, okay? But I like the gesture. When he gets his money, he just always he be like, Mom, let's go Chick-fil-A. Mom, let's go get boba. Ma, I want to get some leche tea. Boy, say your little money, okay? Because say your little coins, because I be trying to tell him we got stuff to do coming up. You know, we got these trips and stuff. I paid for the trip. I'm not finna finance your souvenirs too. You better be saving the little coins that you got. So I try to introduce finances to my kids as much as I know. So the little sprinkle of tidbits that I do know, I do try to share that with them. I still save money in a jar. I'm gonna take it to the coin change thing, and people look at me so crazy when I go somewhere and I pay with cash. Like I don't be using my cards like rarely. I use my debit card at the store, but I use cash. Cash is everything because like I feel like I have better control over my spending when I use cash versus credit. Because with a card, you can just go and you can just tap and tap, 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 and you don't really look at your account and you just tapping like a tap dancer. So when I have cash, I I'm able to keep up with that. I'm able to control that. I know what's going out. Like I can physically see it. And so I'm one of those people that if you can physically see the money going out, okay, I spent $5. All right, cool, boom. You know, I'm tracking. I'm aware. You know, that's just me. I probably won't be like this forever. I don't know. I think it would have to be like a desperate act for me to like they would have to abolish money probably for me not to go to a bank and to pay my bills with credit cards or debit cards instead of cash. I think that they would have to abolish money, physical money for me to catch on to not using cash. I know, old school, but it be organized. All right, so for the you can't make this up, you've heard in previous episodes about this. If you have not, you're gonna have to go back and listen to episodes because I don't even know what episode I talked about this on. But when it comes to money, be careful and do your due diligence with people because scamming is at an all-time high. And 2 years ago, I think it's been like COVID was 2020. So about 3 years ago, like I said, I always, whatever I want, I always save up for. And so after I moved to Florida, I saved up money for me and the kids. You know, I was like, I want to we got this nice house and I want to make it kind of inclusive restore so that resort style so that we never, have to really leave the house. So I saved up money to get a pool. And I was like, we going all out. I let the kids pick the tile. I let the kids I gave them creative control because I knew that I had saved this money and I knew that and I saved on the high end. I didn't even save on the low end. I saved on the high end of the pool. So I'm like, whatever kind of tile they pick out, whatever kind of decor they pick out, or however they do this pool, we're going to be good. Needless to say, someone got money hungry and I was scammed out of a lot of money. A lot of money. I was scammed out of about 20 over $20,000. And mind you, this is money that I had saved up. I have been saving years for. Um, so I got scammed out. About $20,000. So I say this to say, and I say that to say this. Had I gotten the pool on credit and just made the payments toward the pool, then I would still have $20,000 in my pocket because a lot of the finance companies, forgave that amount because it was a scam. So a lot of people ended up being able to walk away, just with hurt feelings, while other of us walked away with empty pockets. So yeah, do your due diligence. And credit ain't scary. It's not scary. It's a little, once you start understanding it, how to use it, how to do things, it's very cool. And now I'm on the road. Like, I got it in my mind. I got where I want my finances to be and where I want my money to be, like at XYZ milestone. All right, and for our last segment, my favorite segment, because this is like creative, artistic abilities here, my song lyric of the week. And I always try to get a song that coincides with what we're talking about for the week. So I feel like, since we're talking about money, there is no better song than ODB, Baby I Got Your Money. I feel like that is the perfect song for this week's episode. All right, we're at the end of the road, y'all. We have come to the end of the road. We done talked about this shmoney. We done talk about how to use it correctly and some of the tips and tricks that I have used when it comes to money. And yeah, so if you have not already, like I said, wherever you listen to this podcast, I forgot my words. Wherever you listen to this podcast at, please make sure you go and leave a review. If not leaving a review, just go ahead and give me that 5 stars. Let me know that you're enjoying this. Make sure you like, share, and subscribe on the YouTube page. Wherever you listen to this podcast at, make sure that you are downloading and you are following me on that app. That way, every time a new episode is released, you are one of the first to know, and then it automatically downloads for you. Don't be ashamed to download. That way you can share it with somebody. You can go and reference it. All right, y'all. Until next time, I am your girl, Charlie Shantae. Thank you for joining me. Bye, guys.